All right, Northwoods Cardboard Gang, today we're going to be taking a look at Obsidian Flame, and is this the time to pick up your sealed Pokemon investments in booster boxes right now? We'll talk about it right after this. Alright, I'm Andy with Northwoods TCG, and today we're going to be talking about Obsidian Flame. Of course, it makes sense, right? It's being released today. Let's talk about, should you be running out to buy your booster boxes, or is this something you should be just holding back and seeing where it goes? So, Obsidian Flame's got a lot of things going on. Number one, pull rates seem to be extremely easy when it comes down to getting that Charizard. We're seeing a lot of these Charizards show up on the market already just in the pre-release, and we really aren't seeing a ton of boxes being opened yet because, of course, the official release is today. So there's going to be a lot more product released here today out in the market. We're going to be seeing all of the cardboard sleeves, all of the ETBs, all this stuff is going to start flooding out into the market, probably being delivered last night. If not, some people got it the day early, some people are getting it today. Just depends on when people come in. Next part about it is that people are getting frustrated that this is a Charizard set already in Scarlet and Violet. And today we'll take a look at what the historical factors have been when it comes down to Charizard sets. And then the third thing is that people want to know, do I buy booster boxes and sealed product, or do I wait? What do I do with this situation? So today I'm going to go through that and what I'm personally doing with it and my reasons behind it when it comes down to Obsidian Flames and how we should be handling it and looking at this particular set. So without further ado, we're going to go into the first thing, which is going to be, of course, pull rates. Now, pull rates are a big factor when it comes down to a set sometimes and the overall performance on it. Sometimes sets with easy pull rates tend to get really cheap really fast because of the fact that people lose interest in it really quickly. There's no real chase any longer. If you're pulling a Charizard every booster box, every 2 booster boxes, for example, Darkness Ablaze, you used to be able to buy a case of booster boxes with 6 booster boxes, and you got 2 Charizards inside of that case, at least the original print run. Once again, a lot of Charizards flooded into the market, and it was the only real chase card in that particular set. So that caused a factor where Darkness Ablaze kind of lost interest very quickly. Now, the one advantage that it had is that it was released pre-boom, or right as the boom was happening, and of course it got eaten up by everybody and anything, and we saw the market take that and push it up to about $220 for the actual price on that particular booster box. It was crazy, and we knew that that was never going to hold. But then we got another reprint. When that reprint hit, it dropped down to about 130, and then it climbed its way back up to 160, 165, and then of course it got another reprint, which then pushed it all the way back to 110. And now we've seen, since that last reprint hit the booster boxes, it's been about a year and a half, we've seen it slowly, and I mean ever so slowly, crawl up to around that $160 range again. So once again, even though it gets reprints, even though the only real chase card is a $30 Charizard card in that particular set, we are seeing it perform really well, and with the easy pull rates of that particular set. Now, when it comes down to pull rates also, sometimes pull rates can create excitement, right? It's a lot more fun when you're doing box breaks and that kind of stuff, and you're getting pulls. It's really good for the people that are producing the box breaks. It gets that hype and FOMO. It gets people into it. So Obsidian Flames might be one of those sets that does really well because box breakers will like it, and people that are opening this thing for entertainment may burn through more of it because of the excitement of the pulls. More pulls, more excitement, more money, more money. Of course, people open more packs, and that's just how the system works. And so we might see an opportunity at that point where the easier pull rates might be slightly an advantage when it comes down to the overall performance of Obsidian Flame. Now, got a lot of people complaining going into it about it being a Charizard set already right here, beginning of Scarlet and Violet, 3rd set in, again, a Charizard set. What is it with Pokemon and Charizard? Well, part of us kind of knew this was going to happen. I think that there was probably a good group of us that have watched the history of Pokemon and looked back in time and saw this coming, probably right when Scarlet and Violet switched up, or when we knew this new era was happening. And I still think that I can probably almost safely make the prediction that the next era, the 3rd box in, is probably going to be a Charizard set. And the reason I say that is that ever since XY Evolutions, we have seen every 3rd set of the era becoming a Charizard set. So the 3rd set in XY was, of course, Flash Flyer. The 3rd set in Sun and Moon was Burning Shadows. The 3rd set in Sword and Shield was, of course, Darkness Ablaze, and of course the 3rd set in here in Scarlet and Violet is going to be Obsidian Flame. So once again, Pokemon is just keeping that consistency moving forward. Once again, sometimes consistency is good. You know a Charizard set's coming, and you can have a little bit of fun knowing that you're going to get a Charizard early off in the era. It kind of gets the excitement and the people's blood pumping. Now, is it going to be as effective here in Scarlet and Violet? I don't know. People are more focusing on Pokemon 151 when it gets released here in the near future. But once again, it's not a complete shock when it comes down to the set layouts when we're looking at particular sets in Pokemon TCG. The other prediction I could probably sit there and put out there is we're going to be seeing probably around that 4th to 5th set, we're going to see a variation in a card. So we're going to see a new type of card probably popping up. You know, in Sword and Shield, it was, of course, the Amazing Rares showed up right in Vivid Voltage and Shining Fates. And then, of course, we had alternate arts following right after that. So Pokemon is continually tweaking the sets as they move along and kind of adding new nuggets of funness inside of them to kind of draw you into it and maybe have a new chase pattern inside of it or some new interest or a new playability factor in the actual mechanic as they move a little bit further into the set. So one of those things you might be looking for after Pokemon 151, potentially the next set after that, or the following set, we might be seeing a new mechanic type card, maybe in that reverse slot or somewhere else inside of that particular set. With the double reverse, maybe you'll take that second reverse slot. We might have a chance for a triple banger. Who knows? You know, that might be another pack option that might be coming forward. We'll see how this rolls out as we move a little bit further closer to those set releases. So definitely one of them things to be considering. So it's just the tendencies of Pokemon. That's what we see. Overall, that's not surprising once again. Pokemon, our Charizard set, 3rd set in, that's pretty much been the routine for Pokemon, and I don't think that they're going to stop doing that. But once again, yes, kind of frustrating. We had Brilliant Stars, we had Pokemon Go, we had, you know, Crown Zenith, all of which had Charizards inside of them of some variation to try and draw people into it. And of course, that's getting people a little bit Charizard burnt out. Charizard's just kind of burning us out at the end of the day, and we're tired of kind of seeing him. So once again, do I think that that's going to be a hindrance to the actual set itself? I don't think so. I think overall, long term, you're definitely going to have some great opportunities when it comes down to Obsidian Flame and the performance of that as we move forward into, of course, further into Scarlet and Violet, and of course into the next era of Pokemon. It's getting closer and closer as we speak. Next thing I want to talk about, of course, is going to be, am I buying this, or do I think this is a good investment at this point in time? Well, currently, if you sit here and take a look at it, when it comes down to the actual market itself, we are seeing it drop. You know, and that's not to be surprising. Overall, I think that there's a few factors when it comes down to this particular set, and we can go all the way back through history again with all these sets. But overall, for an investment standpoint, I think it will do well. I think it's going to be a great long-term investment, just like Flash Fire. I mean, Flash Fire is one of the best sets out of XY. You know, Burning Shadows holds its own really well inside of the Sun and Moon block, and of course, Darkness Ablaze continues to hold its own considering its circumstances behind that particular set. So I don't see any reason why Obsidian Flame wouldn't potentially run that same gambit or that same layout when it's all said and done. So am I sitting here right now and buying booster boxes of Obsidian Flame? No, I'm not. I'm currently just kind of holding back on it. I'm getting my normal 2 booster boxes for my long-term investment from my LGS for that $105 a booster box. But other than that, I'm not going on the hunt for any other booster boxes. I'm not trying to sit here and dig some up and try and work it to try and get some around that $110, $115 range. I definitely think that there's going to be some opportunities to potentially see this one go sub 100. It's not completely out of the question, and I don't see it being that crazy to have happen. And the number one reason that I'm going to point that out is because of Scarlet and Violet 151. Scarlet and Violet 151 is coming up here in October. That's coming extremely fast. The release for that is going to come up on us faster than we really think it will. Once again, holiday sets like to spring up like that, and when you're in kind of a set basis and you kind of try and tuck one of these between 2 sets, you get that holiday set, and of course the hype and FOMO and the excitement behind Scarlet and Violet or Pokemon 151, 151 is just huge. And so what we may see here is in the next few months or in the next few weeks, we're going to see the fact that LGSs are probably going to try and push Obsidian Flame out as quick as they can. They may even sell it for at cost just to get it out the door. And that way they can make room in their budgets, get money in, get back that capital in order to be able to purchase more Pokemon 151, 151 to be able to sell out, because that's going to move a lot faster than Obsidian Flame will. I think Obsidian Flame, a lot of people are not purchasing Obsidian Flame We're already seeing a lot of the singles drop incredibly fast already, and it's not even release date at this point. So I do think that those cards are going to drop extremely quick. They're not going to hold a ton of value just because I don't think there's going to be a huge chase, and people aren't putting a lot of money right now in Obsidian Flames when they have, Pokemon 151 coming up and they want to spend on that. And I know a lot of people want to spend on that. I want to spend on that. 151 is one of those really exciting sets that I think is going to draw a lot of people into it. We're having OG people that have said that they've never had interest in modern Pokemon are now interested in this set, which is going to drive a whole new market into here. Now, the question is if Pokemon 151 is short printed here in the United States in the English version, we may see people then go back to Obsidian Flame. So I would still be watching it and keeping my eye on it if you do think that it's going to do well overall, which I do myself. If you see it start to spike up, I would watch for some really heavy spikes or some really quick drive ups on it. But overall, remember, it's a brand new set also, so even if it does start to spike up, back up to 115, 120, 130, the chances are is that we will probably see a reprint of this particular set, which is then going to draw that right back down and create that little bit of a pocket again. So don't get too excited on it. I would just watch it, keep it in the back of my mind, definitely keep watching the charts on it, listen for news on it, for reprints and that kind of information, because that's going to give you the best opportunities on this particular set. But right now with Pokemon 151 just around the corner, I don't think that there's any rush to really be jumping into Obsidian Flames. You can hold on this one, you can kind of relax, you can kind of watch it and just see how it performs over the next couple months and make your decisions a little bit further down. So once again, that's something to be considering when you're looking at these particular sets. Now, I'm going to tell you that moving forward now after Obsidian Flame here on Monday, I'm going to be giving you 3 Pokemon investments that you should probably be considering if you're interested in these sets. If you've been waiting on these particular sets and trying to decide when the time is right to purchase them, you should probably start looking at them. So that will be on Monday. We'll definitely cover that for you guys. That way you guys have a little bit of a heads up on what to be looking for, because there are some things changing back in the Sword and Shield era, and some opportunities may be fleeing pretty quickly if you want to get the best opportunities you can right now. So hopefully it's some good information, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the information on Obsidian Flame. Of course, I do think it's going to be an overall good set. I think that it's going to have some great opportunities futuristically. I think the pull rates could be a factor to why it may sell even better. But once again, with Scarlet and Violet 151 coming up in the near future, just here in October, people are going to shift rather quickly to that set. And Obsidian Flame, I think, is going to sit for a long period of time. That may be a factor in why it may not get a reprint, too. Just heads up. If it gets dropped because of Pokemon 151, this may not get a reprint or might get really small reprints, while Pokemon 151 might be getting some really big reprints, which may give some opportunity to Obsidian Flame, because then the chase cards are a lot fewer and far in between, even if there are better pull rates on these compared to a lot of other sets. So just things to watch, things to consider when we're looking at the overall performance of this set futuristically, and definitely watch those market charts and really make a decision on when you should buy it based on how those market charts are performing. And of course, if you watch the channel and if you continue to watch the channel, I'll definitely try to keep you up with heads up on when's the right time to purchase some of these or look at purchasing them and when may be the best opportunities to do that. So hopefully it's some good information. If you did and you made it this far into the video, as always, be sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. It's fantastic to do that and help the channel out. Also, if you do like this kind of content and want to hear about market news and what's happening with Pokemon Seal investments, hit that like button. Helps out the channel, lets me know this is something you want to hear. Last but not least, hit that notify. That way you know when we're doing these videos so you can keep up to date with what's happening in the Pokemon market. Other than that, guys, if you do like this kind of content, check out the 2 videos at the end. I'll put them up right after I'm done talking. We'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.